Welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti. The topic of the evening is everything going on with the estuary in Old Saybrook, and with me to discuss everything going on with the estuary in Old Saybrook is Stan, who's the executive director. My friend.
How are you?
Good. How are you? Long
I'm
time
well.
no see.
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
Love the new set.
Well, thank you. Yeah, this is fairly new, so this is a new look for the show.
Yeah, I love it. It's great.
It's great. Absolutely. So how long have you been executive director for the estuary?
Since 2017, so coming up on 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
You like it?
I love it. You know, something different every day.
Mm-hmm.
I love our seniors, which I am one now, so you know, I'm right there with everybody. So, but it's a great job, very rewarding.
Yeah. And as far as what's going on with the estuary, I see we've got a whole bunch to talk about over our time together.
Yes.
So let's start with the 50th anniversary.
Yes.
Coming up.
Estuary's been around for 50 years.
Okay.
You know, it started out in the early 70s.
Okay.
Out in Essex, as the Estuary Council of Senior Clubs. Just a small group of different towns got together and formed these different clubs. Right. And then years later, it moved to Clinton, and now in our home since '91 in Old Saybrook.
Where you guys are right now.
Exactly, yeah. And I've been working at the estuary in May will be 19 years, so I've been around for almost 20 of those 50 years at the estuary.
Now, when you were around for those 20 of the 50 years, where were you?
So I was the controller. I was the money guy.
There you go.
So I was taking care of the finances and making sure we kept the lights on and the heat on and the building. So it was a very rewarding job as well. But being executive director takes it to a whole nother level, and I'm able to do some things for our seniors and for the community that we're all, myself and the staff, are all proud of.
What types of things?
You know, we've recently, in the past couple of years, since COVID, with elderly depression, isolation because of COVID, it brought mental health to the forefront. You know, it's always been an issue, but not something that was really talked about, you know, in the senior community. But since COVID, it sort of brought it to the forefront. And we were able to add a social work program now at the estuary. So, you know, if people are feeling that isolation or the loneliness or they need any kind of assistance, we're able to either talk them through it or get them the assistance they need.
Now, you guys changed your name.
We did.
So you are now the estuary.
The estuary. Like I said, we were the Estuary Council of Seniors.
Right.
And we simplified that. We went through a whole rebranding process.
Yep.
And became the estuary. Everyone knows us as the estuary, right?
Right.
People say, hey, let's get together at the estuary, or how's the estuary, or what's going on at the estuary? So people know us as that. So instead of a radical name change to something completely different, we said, let's go with the estuary.
And how time consuming was it for the name change?
It took us a while. We hired an outside firm to just interview a lot of people and get their feelings about what a name change would mean to them, what the estuary means to them, and what they consider the estuary to be for the community. Right. And a lot of people just kept coming back to, I call it the estuary. You know, right. we like to go and we like to meet at the estuary. So that's kind of the name that stuck. But it took us a good year and a half to settle on the estuary as the name.
Okay.
We did a whole new graphics logo redesign.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yep. So now we're a little bit fresher and brighter. You know, during COVID, we were able to redo our lobby. You know, which in the past had been a little dark, a little dated, and now it's very bright and open. Lots of glass, so getting a lot of sunshine in there. Of course, we've got the beautiful views of the North Cove.
Oh yeah.
$1 million views. We were able to do our outside area in our back, so our patios expanded. We have beautiful grounds that people can just stroll, come and sit, read the paper, have your coffee, chat with friends. You know, for ever at that point where we're not able to congregate inside for any reason, we certainly have the resources now to congregate outside if the weather permits.
Now, is there a gazebo outside? Or?
There is.
There is.
Yes, we actually have a gazebo, and we have a bandstand right now that was donated to us. Beautiful bandstand that I can't wait to use this spring.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it was donated by a person?
Yes, one of our board members.
Okay.
Yep, Elizabeth Goldstein. She donated that to us after a wedding at her house. She repurposed it at the Estuary, so we're very thankful for that.
All right. Now, as far as, let's talk a little bit about the programs that you guys offer and maybe get into a little bit of detail about each program.
Sure. Yeah, we offer everything. We have painting classes, we have massage therapy, we offer haircuts, nursing services, blood pressure screens, cholesterol screens, diabetic screens. We have a foot nurse, diabetic foot care is a huge thing right now. She's able, a registered nurse is able to take care of that for folks. So it's kind of like a one-stop shopping for all your needs. We have a gym and exercise classes. Our gym, I think, rivals many of the Planet Fitnesses and the private gyms in the area.
Really?
Yeah, we have we try to keep up with equipment. We have a bunch of new steps, which are great for people coming off of rehab. So it's not too taxing on your joints.
Right.
We have a great personal trainer and great fitness classes, which are very popular, and that's kind of what's going on at the Estuary. We kind of like to get people moving, and of course, our delicious nutrition program.
That's right. Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah, we serve lunch every day in Old Saybrook from 12 to 12:30.
Okay.
And also in Old Lyme. Old Lyme now we're being served at the Congregational Church in Old Lyme. On Wednesdays we serve in Killingworth, and Tuesdays and Thursdays in Clinton.
There you go. And where do you serve in Clinton?
At the Annex, which is attached to the Clinton Town Hall.
Yep. Sure.
In addition to our Meals on Wheels program, again, we cover 9 towns in the area from Clinton all the way up 95 to Lyme, and then up Route 9 to Deep River, Chester, Essex, and Killingworth.
Wow. Now, how are you guys doing? Obviously, COVID is supposedly over.
Yep. Yeah, people are coming back now. We're signing up new people every day, which is great. We're seeing a lot of new faces, younger faces. Actual age at the Estuary, we service people 50 and over.
Okay.
So maybe we'll get you there at a later part of the year. Not giving anything away.
No.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of the younger people. I think it's because of our exercise classes.
Right.
Seniors are living longer now.
Right.
They're wanting to be more active and do things that are more social. So they get to work out with their friends, and our exercise classes are just wonderful. We have yoga, Tai Chi, chair yoga. So whatever fitness level you're at, we have something for you.
Now, what occupied the downstairs where the thrift store was?
So we did move our thrift shop to Route 1 in Old Saybrook, a little strip mall, 889 Boston Post Road, just before Town Fair Tire and Job Lot. And we took that space and we made it into a wellness center.
Oh, cool.
So right now we have a hair salon down there. So we have 2 women that are hair cutters. We have massage therapy. We have our art studio down there. We have an all-purpose room, which we call Studio 220. 220 Main Street is our address.
Yes.
We have our nursing services, our medical room. Again, our nursing services are in there. Our foot care nurse is in there as well. So, and we also have a consultation room. So if we ever need to meet one-on-one with an individual, whether it's our social worker or for a medical reason or nutritionist, we have a nutritionist on staff. If we have to meet one-on-one, we have a private consultation room where they can meet.
Cool.
Yeah, it's very nice. We had our grand opening sometime in February. And we keep adding to it as we go along. It's still a sort of a work in progress.
Okay.
Still little touches here and there that need to be finished, but it's fully functional now, and people are loving it.
Neat.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, let's talk about the history of the estuary.
Yeah.
So it started 50 years ago.
50 years ago in Essex.
Right.
Again, it was called the Estuary Council of Senior Clubs. So there were all these little pockets of clubs around.
Gotcha.
That all got together and formed what became the Estuary Council of Seniors. And in 91, they purchased the land in Old Saybrook where we are.
Yep.
We built the building, and we've been there ever since. But a lot of changes to the building in the past couple of years.
Oh, yeah?
You know, the building being 30 years old, you can imagine
Yeah.
your own home. If your own home was 30 years old and you hadn't done anything to it.
It's got the tired look to it.
Exactly, exactly. So we freshened it up.
And obviously during COVID, that was probably the most opportune time to do it because
There was no one in the building.
no one was coming in the building.
Exactly. So we took advantage of that. You know, there was a lot of the COVID money
Yep.
around that we were able to get through, you know, grants, which was a godsend for us.
Yeah.
You know, just allowed us to do what we needed to do so that we have a great place for the seniors to come,
Right.
you know, and enjoy.
Now, as far as the thrift store goes, can you tell us maybe a little bit about that? We mentioned where it was.
Yeah. So we're open Monday through Saturday.
Okay.
10 o'clock to 3:45. And it's a great store. If anyone's never been there, a little bit of everything. We have women's clothes, we have men's clothing, we have housewares, we have furniture now. You know,
Really?
we're getting in small pieces of furniture, some larger pieces of furniture, but very popular. As soon as we get a piece in, it flies out the door. But we're lucky in that each day it's a different group of volunteers
Oh, okay.
that are at our thrift store, running our thrift store. We have one paid individual who does a great job, has a great retail eye for how the store should be set up and
Right.
and how it looks. But every day, the volunteers try and outdo one another, you know, to try to beat the sales from the day before.
Yeah.
But it's been a great move for us. And sales-wise, it's been fantastic. Just to get our name out there, we're more out in the community. It's been a great move for us.
Matter of fact, I walked by it this morning because usually what I do is I grab a cup of coffee and walk to work.
Oh, okay.
If it's nice out. So I walked by it this morning. It
Yeah.
wasn't open because it was about 20 of 8.
Yeah.
So it's like, I looked in the window. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, they just switched over to their spring fashions.
Okay.
So the store's all been refreshed. We've had some sales in the past couple of weeks trying to get rid of the winter clothes and put all the spring clothes out, and it really looks great. So
Yeah, and then you guys will switch over to the summer stuff.
exactly. So you know, we're getting all that stuff out, and the store looks great. The location's fantastic. You know, I'm just happy that we're able to bring more to the community than we had before.
Now, in comparison to the store where you are now, as compared to where you were downstairs in your building at 220, is it a bigger space?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes. We were probably around 2,500 square feet in Old Saybrook. You know, we have almost 5,000 square feet
At the new space?
at the new space.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's quite the change.
Holy cow.
Yeah. It's a wonderful space. And again, bright. You know, we've got the storefronts. The ladies do a great job with the storefronts, and it's really a fun atmosphere.
Yeah. Now, do you guys accept donations?
We do. We accept donations by appointment.
Okay.
Of course, you know, we'll work with anybody to try and come in at a time that's convenient for them. But yeah, we're lucky in that most of our goods, all of our goods, are donated. You know, so people have been very generous. You know, sometimes we get clothing items that have never been worn, that still have the tags on them.
Oh, wow.
You know, furniture that's in beautiful condition. Some lovely old pieces as well. You know, it's really an eclectic place that I find myself when I go in there looking around and seeing what's interesting in there.
Now, do you pop in periodically?
Yes,
Pop in and say hello?
absolutely, yes.
Just make sure everything is...
Absolutely. Just like to say hello to our volunteers, make them feel like, you know, they're
Right.
really doing a great job for us and helping us, because without them, we couldn't do what we do.
No, absolutely not.
And not just our thrift shop volunteers, but our Meals on Wheels volunteers, the people that drive our Meals on Wheels packers, our front desk people. The Estuary has over 200 volunteers.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and we have our volunteer appreciation luncheon coming up on April 21st.
Okay.
At the Elks Club in Westbrook.
Okay, right around the corner.
Yeah. We've been having it there for the past few years. Again, beautiful spot there, beautiful view of the water.
Oh yeah.
Our volunteers seem to love it, and it's a fun time. We have it on a Saturday afternoon. They come, they have dinner, they chit chat with each other, get to know each other, and it's a fun day.
Now, how did you guys handle the pandemic?
You know, it was rough for us because we had to, everything that was happening inside the building, including the congregate meals, had to stop.
Right.
You know, we couldn't have anybody in the building. But what we did, we continued to do our Meals on Wheels. We delivered, we never stopped. But for the congregate people, we instituted a grab-and-go meal service. So people would sort of drive their car up to the front door, and we would hand them their meal so they could take it home or go eat at a park setting with friends.
Right.
You know, just like sort of like a drive-through meal like you would get at McDonald's or Burger
Right.
King, which was very popular. Funding sort of ran out for that program after COVID started to go away.
Okay.
Sadly, we had to stop that program, which disappointing for a lot of people who aren't comfortable coming into a congregate setting.
Right.
But hopefully we can bring that program back. I'm still holding out hope that funding will come through and we're able to bring that, because it was very popular.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Would you get a lot of people?
We got a lot of people, and again, it was great because they saw us outside. You know, myself and the staff were outside handing out meals, so it was a chance to socialize a little bit,
Right.
so they didn't feel alone and isolated.
No. Now, as far as, let's talk about the Meals on Wheels program, and especially you mentioned with people, especially people you can't do without is your drivers.
Yes.
Let's talk about
Yeah,
that.
you know, we service the 9 towns in the area.
Yep.
And every day we have a different person that drives a route. We have 14 routes throughout the 9 towns. And, you know, we're out there Monday through Friday and delivering meals. You know, we're one of the few meal providers that hasn't cut days of the week for meals, or we don't have any wait lists. So, you know, if there's a need out there, you know, we're able to fill that need. But a lot of other providers, and because of funding, not anything that they're doing, but the funding for senior nutrition has just been lacking over the past few years.
Okay.
You know, we try to advocate at the state level, and then hopefully they hear us and go to the federal level, because this all comes from the Older Americans Act. That's where the funding all starts.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so you know, we're trying to advocate for more funding as we move along through the years here. But it's been lacking, and food costs are going up, gas costs are going up. So we could never run these programs and deliver the amount of meals we deliver without our volunteers.
No.
Yeah. So we're forever indebted to all these volunteers.
And I'm sure it's costly to run the Meals on Wheels program.
Absolutely, it's
not cheap.
It's not cheap. You know, as anybody who's worked in a restaurant setting or has owned a restaurant or food service in general, you know what yourself when you go to the grocery store.
Oh yeah.
The prices are just, you know, it's high, and the money's not there to keep up with the inflation. Gas prices are high. You know, we have to get vehicles to get the food places. So so that's high. So there's a lot of expense with the program.
And obviously everything is covered by the Estuary, with the subsidies coming from
Correct. You know,
federal, state.
We're some of our money comes through a grant through Senior Resources from Title III funds. We get donations from our meal recipients, and then we get private grants, private donations from individuals. Community just rallies around us. You know, we're lucky in that respect that, you know, we have the support of the community. I think everybody sees the need for what we do and the value in what Meals on Wheels provides. Sometimes our volunteer drivers are the only people that a meal recipient sees all day, because they're living alone, spouse has died, or they're shut in their house
Right.
for whatever reason. And we're also the eyes and the ears, right? Because volunteers have been going to Mrs. Jones' house for years now, and
Right.
you can recognize that, and she just seems a little off. I noticed there was food building up in her fridge. She's not eating,
Right.
and we're able to.
Is she okay?
Yeah, exactly. We're able to alert the emergency contact just to say, hey, this is what we noticed, and maybe there's something going on. Or if there's a serious danger right at the moment, we're able to call 911 and hopefully get the individual help that they need.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, what are for the Meals on Wheels program, what are the criterias to become?
So we talked about being 50 and over to join the Estuary. Our meal program, because it's a federal program
Right.
that we get Title III money for, it's 60 and over.
Okay.
So as long as you're 60 and over, there's a form. It's called a Form 5. I'm sure a lot of your viewers know this form because it's terrible.
Okay.
It's about 4 pages and it's awful. I wouldn't want to fill it out. But it's not our form.
Right.
Feds make us do it. State makes us do it. It's how we get reimbursed for the meals.
Oh, okay.
So they have to know that meal recipient is of age and is living in one of the towns that we serve. So it's a little daunting of a form, and I wish we can do it some other way, but
Yeah, right.
unfortunately, but it's a valuable service.
Now, do they make you show proof of residency?
They don't. Just
No?
as long as you could put your address down on the form, and it can be verified. That's probably as far as we go.
So that form's really not that much fun to fill out?
It's not. It's not. When you come down to the Estuary, I'll show it to you.
Okay.
Maybe we could.
And you'll give me 15 minutes to fill it out.
Absolutely.
And I'll be sitting there scratching my head of,
Maybe we
why
could
am I doing this?
Exactly. Maybe we could sit here with some legislators sometime and try to hash out a better way to do those.
And figure it out.
Absolutely. We'd love to do that.
So that's how you guys get your funding?
And that's how we get the
Through-
funding for it. Our congregate meal program, again, is for people 60 and over.
Okay.
All that we ask is that you make a reservation by 11 o'clock the day before.
Cool.
So that, at one of our sites, either in Old Lyme, Old
Yep.
Saybrook, Killingworth, or Clinton.
And obviously, once you make the reservation, you can just walk in and...
Walk in, there'll be somebody to greet you. We have a roster of people that have made reservations. We just want to
Okay.
check you off the list, make sure that, that you did come. Again, that's how we get our reimbursement.
Right.
The number of people that have eaten for that day, we turn it in at the end of the month, and we get reimbursed partially for the meal.
Now, one question we didn't talk is you guys actually have lunch at the senior center every day from 12 to 12:30?
Yes.
Most important question,
Yes.
how's the food?
Food is excellent.
Yeah?
Excellent. As a staff, we eat it as well.
Oh, okay.
We just had our St. Patrick's Day celebration last Friday.
Oh,
We had over
Corned
100.
beef?
Yes, corned beef. Oh, it was wonderful.
oh, one of my favorites.
We had over 110 people in our cafe in Old Saybrook. We fed them in record time. Again, we have volunteers. We have different kids that come in, school kids and Strive and different organizations that come in and help. We served everybody, 110 people, in 7 minutes, which was a record.
Are you kidding me?
Yep. We had, it's a sit-down service like a restaurant. You come in,
Right.
sit down, and we got everybody
7 minutes.
7 minutes,
Oh my God.
a record.
I was going to say, if it wasn't, it,
It
should
should be, right?
Oh, man.
Absolutely. People enjoy it. They love it. We had
Yeah.
some great music, some live Irish music and
Oh, cool.
folk music, and it was a fun time.
Yeah?
Yeah. People leave there, and you can see the smiles on their faces, and that's the rewarding part.
Right.
That's what we say. That's why we do what we do.
Yeah. And because obviously the food's phenomenal, it sounds to me like it's...
Yes.
And even, like you said, the staff eats it.
Absolutely. Again, restaurant quality. Our nutrition staff is great. We have a nutritionist on staff.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. So, if somebody has a dietary question or a certain dietary need, they can always talk it over with our nutritionist. So we're lucky to have that as well.
Yeah. Now, is she full-time?
Full time.
Okay.
Yep.
And she can answer any questions as far as...
Absolutely. Anything food related, nutrition related. She does a series of nutrition education.
Oh, does she?
A few times during the year, just to let everybody know, different topics that people might be interested in. Mm-hmm. And her, Laura and Aaron both will team up and we'll do a sort of a Facebook Live cooking demonstration where Aaron will cook and Laura will talk about
what they're making?
What they're making and the nutrition value.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And is Heather still with you?
Heather is still with us.
How is she?
She's doing well.
Good.
Yeah, we're keeping her busy, trying to, she's applying for grants. She's planning our 50th anniversary celebration. So
yeah, that's right.
It's a big job and she's doing great and we're keeping her busy.
Good. Now, as far as the 50th celebration goes, that's coming up this week, right?
We have Estuary Day this Friday, where the governor is going to declare Friday, March 22nd, Estuary Day.
Cool.
Yeah, so we're having a little celebration at the Estuary from 1:30 to 3:30.
Okay.
Yeah, little champagne toasts, some hors d'oeuvres, and a few speeches from a few notaries, and
I'm sure you'll have something to say.
I'm a thing or two. But it should be a fun event as well. And that sort of kicks off some events that we have planned for the 50th throughout the year, culminating in September when we have our big gala, our 50th anniversary gala.
What type of events do we have coming up?
So we're doing, so we're going to start with the Estuary Day.
Yeah.
We will do a trivia night May 3rd at the Estuary, which we're looking forward to. We've never done a trivia night, and I think we're going to be sort of decade oriented. So
oh, cool.
Yeah. So the Estuary started in the 70s, so we'll start with the decade of the 70s and move right through the 2000s.
And then move up.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now can anybody go to trivia night? Or
anyone can. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. And that's a good thing about some of our evening events and our thrift shop. Anybody could come. It's not just seniors.
Right. Now we also have something coming up. Happy hour starting in June.
Yes. Yes. We have like I said, our grounds are beautiful. And we start a series of happy hours. We started a couple of years ago where people can just come, have a complimentary beverage.
Okay.
And we do some light hors d'oeuvres. And we have a band.
Cool.
And people get up on the patio and they're dancing and they're just hanging out. And again, beautiful view of the North Cove. I mean, we're so lucky to have that view that we have. Mm-hmm. It's just so relaxing to be back there, and people just love it. The first time we did it, we had over 100 people, which was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Would you want to stick around for another segment?
It'd be wonderful. I'd love to do it.
We'll be right back.
Absolutely.
Community TV, your neighborhood TV.
Publicly funded and a reliable partner for cable companies nationwide, it provides transparent coverage of local and state government, education, and public programming.
A digital town green that can be watched anywhere, anytime, and on any device.
Watch us on today's high-tech distribution methods.
Community TV in Connecticut.
Local,
unfiltered,
reliable, and yours.
Connecticut has lost $35 million in gross earnings taxes because cable TV providers are losing customers.
Yet cable companies continue to enjoy a tax exemption on their equipment that their telecom competitors don't get.
At the same time, the telecoms don't pay gross earnings tax.
This doesn't make sense.
It's time to level the playing field.
Make everyone pay their fair share.
Please support sustainable funding for digital equity,
community access,
and the CTN network.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti, sitting here with Stan from the Estuary. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so let's talk about the new wellness center that you guys opened.
Yes, like I said, since the thrift shop moved out, we sort of repurposed the downstairs.
Okay.
Wonderful space that we have, again, over 3,000 square feet in there that we put to good use. So our hair salon's down there. Which our hair cutters are busy all the time. They're booked way in advance. We have our nursing services. So again, our foot care services, regular nursing services. So if you want to come in and have your blood pressure checked or your cholesterol checked or your sugar, we can do those screens as well.
Wow.
Yeah. our art rooms down there. So we have our art classes that when they get going, we'll be able to hang their arts on the wall down there, which will be great. And we have an all-purpose room, which sort of serves as a meeting space, an exercise space, just a wonderful, nice, relaxing area that people can just either have a meeting or take a class, or it can be set up in a variety of ways.
Now, as far as the trivia night goes, that's coming up in May.
Yeah,
correct?
so again, with our 50th anniversary, May 3rd, we're hosting the trivia night,
Okay.
which should be a lot of fun. We've never
Yeah.
done that before. We're looking forward to it. Hopefully, if it goes well and it's well attended, it's something that we can keep going with.
Yeah,
Bring it back a few times during the year.
yeah, that'd be great.
Yep.
That would be awesome.
And we also have, starting sometime in April, our
Yeah.
bingo is coming back.
Oh, yeah.
So we have bingo from April through December. We take a little pause in January, February, and March.
Right.
As it gets a little darker and colder outside,
Right.
We take a little pause. But this year, I'm happy to say, we're getting a new state-of-the-art bingo machine for the estuary, which I think people are going to love. I've seen it. It does a lot of great things. It's colorful. It's just lively. It adds a whole nother dimension to bingo.
Really?
Yeah.
You've seen the machine, huh?
I've seen the machine. It's people are going to be, I think, quite pleased when we roll it out.
And that's sometime in April?
Sometime in April. We don't have a
have a
firm
firm
date
date
yet. We're waiting for the machine to come in. Usually takes about six weeks to come in. Hopefully it'll be in around the 23rd of April.
Okay.
So that'll be our tentative first date.
Then you got to be trained on how to work the machine.
Correct.
And
Correct. So yeah, and we are looking for bingo callers. So if anybody out there wants to be a bingo caller, please just call the estuary, and we'll be happy to set up some training. And it's really a fun atmosphere.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we get a lot of new faces, but we have a core group of people who just love it, and they love coming to the estuary and spending that Tuesday night with us.
okay, so it's going to be they're all.
It's at nighttime.
Every
yeah.
Tuesday night?
Every Tuesday night. Starts at 6:30 and ends around 9 o'clock.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about what's coming up this week
Yes.
on March 22nd.
Yeah. So we're going to have the governor declare this Estuary Day.
Okay.
We did that in the past. Back in the 80s, I believe they did that, 80s or 90s, I can't remember. It was before my time, but we haven't done it since, and we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to just celebrating not only the estuary itself, but the people who supported us, the communities we support.
Right.
It really is a true collaboration of all the communities around.
Now, as far as the event on the 22nd, who's going to speak? You?
Yes,
Okay.
a few surprises. I don't want to give it away.
All right.
So if people want to attend, they can give us a call, and there are sign-ups for attendance because we are limited with space.
Right.
But yeah, it should be a fun little afternoon.
Now, speaking of calling, what are the hours of the estuary?
So we're there at 8 o'clock,
Okay.
and we're there till 4,
All right.
Monday through Friday. We are not open on the weekends. Hoping to add some Saturday hours.
Okay.
Sort of difficult to do with staffing and,
Right.
and such, but we're working that out.
Now, as far as the Italian and German language lessons.
Yes, that's new to us as well. So we have Spanish lessons right now.
Okay.
Spanish class, which is again very popular. The language lessons themselves have just people have been asking for it, something they wanted to see. So we're lucky that we're able to bring that to the people. We have German, we have the Italian lessons coming up, which being Italian myself, I don't speak much.
No, me either.
So might be something I'd like to do as well.
Yeah. And
So
when do those start?
Those start soon, I
Okay.
think in June.
Okay.
Yeah. And all this stuff you can go get on our website, www.yourestuary.org, and find out all the information and times and days of the week.
And I also see we got ukulele lessons.
Guitar and ukulele.
Wow.
We did ukulele the past couple of years, which is great. I took the class as well.
How'd you do?
In the evening? Great. It's just a fun thing. If you have any sort of musical inclination, it's a fun way to just be with a group of people,
Right.
and spend an hour. And now we're adding guitar to that as well. So be curious to see how that goes.
See how everybody works.
Yeah.
And one other thing we need to talk about tonight is coming up on the 9th of June, and that's Pride Bingo.
Pride Bingo. Yes, we did our first Pride Bingo last June,
Okay.
I believe. June or July, I can't remember. But again, widely popular. It sold out. People just had a fabulous time. The entertainer we had was wonderful. And it was just a fun afternoon. We did it on a Saturday afternoon, and it was just a fun time. So people have been wanting to do it again. They've been asking for it. So we decided, yeah, we're going to do that. It's going to become a staple of what we do. So it's different than our regular bingo.
Okay.
Okay, so not part of the Tuesday bingo. Again, we do it on the weekends.
Okay.
And it's just a little bit more fun. There's a show to it. And,
Is there?
Yeah. So it's nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the other activities, I guess you got a lot going on this summer too.
A lot going on. We usually start ramping up when the good weather comes.
Right.
The days get longer, the sun's out longer. People like more inclined to come to the estuary, take part in an early morning class, a yoga class, or an exercise class, stay for lunch, and then they can go home and still have the day to get their stuff done that they want to do.
Yeah.
But they've had that little time, for themselves and for socialization. So, it works out well. But we sort of ramp up in the summertime too with our happy hours. We were outside more. People love to dance, and just listen to music. And we have some great bands.
Oh yeah.
Last year we had a couple of great bands. This year we have some more in store, and we're looking forward to hosting those.
When does the music start?
Music starts around. We usually start the happy hour at 5. They're usually from like 5 to 7:30.
7:30. Okay.
Yeah. So the music starts, about 5:30.
Okay.
They're playing almost right to the end, and people are up and dancing. That's what I like to see.
Yeah.
People that generally are sort of sitting around, not moving much. As soon as they hear the music, they're up and dancing. So it's great.
Now, do we have a date for happy hour to start in June? Probably like the middle of June, once the weather gets
Yeah,
warmer?
once the weather gets a little, and some of them are weather, it's dictated by the weather.
Right.
If we have to change dates because of rain or whatever.
Yeah.
But we launch our first one with the summer barbecue, which starts the end of May.
Okay.
I believe it's May 29th. We do a hamburger hot dog barbecue, again, from 5 to 7.
Cool.
Yeah. So, it's $5. That's all we ask is $5 contribution. And, you get your hamburger, you get your hot dog, beverage, and whatever sides that our kitchen staff makes at that moment. But again, sometimes we have music on that one as well. And it's a great way to kick off the summer events.
And from what I hear, you guys also have a really nice gazebo on the property.
We do. We have a wonderful gazebo. Matter of fact, we had a wedding last summer at the estuary.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they were able to incorporate the gazebo into their wedding. Our building is available for rental.
Is it?
Yes. If you go on our website, there is a rental form and information about rooms that are available and prices and all that good kind of stuff. But if anybody wants to inquire, again, give us a call, talk to Heather. She can walk you through the process of rental.
And you guys do transportation as well.
And we do our medical transportation. Yeah, that's been a great program. People have to get from their house to a doctor's appointment or to a treatment, whether it's dialysis or chemo. You don't want to wait after your appointment to go back home, right? You're not feeling well, you just want to
Right.
get to your own house.
You're tired and you want to go home.
Exactly. You've been there all day. Our program, helps you do that because we pick you up at your house. We take you one-on-one with a driver to your appointment. As soon as your appointment's done, we're there to pick you up and take you home. So there's no waiting. There's no calling and waiting for a bus or a taxi. If you didn't have a ride or a friend to come, when it was convenient for them, we're right there.
Now, is that on, you have to make reservations?
You have to do, yeah. Call David, schedule your ride. As much notice in advance as possible. We have 3, we call it our EMOTS program, which stands for Estuary Medical Outpatient Transportation.
Yes.
So EMOTS for short. We have 3 vehicles, all late model Subarus.
Yeah.
And reliable, great in snow, great in bad weather. And again, it's an invaluable service. We're there at your house when you're ready to go for your appointment, and we're right there when your appointment's over to bring you back home.
And now, do they wait for you to get done with your appointment?
Yeah. They sometimes they may go on and bring somebody else to another
Appointment and come back.
Come back. If that works. But a lot of the people are repeat clients. So they get to know their driver. The driver gets to know a little bit about them, and they have conversations. On the way from their house to the doctor's appointment. So again, it's that socialization aspect.
Right.
And most of the things we do at the Estuary, the biggest piece is the socialization.
Yeah.
Everything we do is to get people to socialize.
Now, what makes your estuary particularly different from other estuaries or other senior programs out there?
Great question. We are a private nonprofit, so other senior centers are.
I knew that. I think.
Yeah. So other centers are attached to municipality, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the town of Westbrook has a senior center. Old Lyme has a senior center. The other towns, we act as their senior center. The hub is Old Saybrook.
Right.
But the 9 towns that we serve are very generous and support us through grants as well.
Yep.
Because they see the value of what we do for their seniors as well. But our hub is in Old Saybrook. We are a nonprofit, so it's what Heather does is invaluable for us to raise funds and help us get our
grants.
Yeah, exactly. Help us get our name out there, doing outreach. Because the more people are aware of what we do, and the more we can expand our reach, the more opportunity there is for us for funding.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, with Heather writing the grants, so that's a very invaluable service.
Absolutely. When I first started at the Estuary, we were sort of doing it between myself when I was the controller and our executive director at the time. We're sort of bouncing off each other. I would do the financial piece of the grant, executive director would do the narrative piece, and we would keep going back and forth with this thing, and it just took forever. Heather's able to concentrate and get these done pretty quick because she's dedicated to doing that, as part of her job. So.
And obviously, you guys rely also on private donations from people.
Yes, we send out an appeal letter twice a year.
Okay.
One comes out in the fall. Then one's coming up. It'll come out in end of May, beginning of June. And again, lucky that community just supports us when we send out a call for help. We get tremendous feedback, tremendous response from our appeal letter. So we're lucky.
Now, how is your Meals on Wheels program funded?
So both our Meals on Wheels and congregate meals are supported by the Older Americans Act Title III funds, which comes through a grant through Senior Resources in Norwich.
Okay.
Or Eastern Connecticut Area Agency on Aging. When the Older Americans Act was established back in the 60s, what came with that was the establishment of these area agencies on aging. And they would sort of act as the facilitator, where the money would start out at the federal level, it would go to the state level, and then the state would dole it out to these AAAs.
Right.
And they would act as sort of the liaison between the elderly nutrition provider and the AAAs and the state.
Now, what is the Title III fund?
So that's Title III is actually the Code of the Older Americans Act.
Okay.
So that's kind of where that language comes from.
Gotcha.
So there's different, like the nutrition program is Title IIIC. There's Title IIIB, which is another grant where we get our part of our social worker salaries paid through a grant.
Okay.
Through Title IIIB. So a lot of different names that are hard to keep up with.
I was going to say, it sounds confusing.
Yes, and at the state level, they change them all the time, which is crazy. Sometimes it's the Department on Aging, sometimes the State Unit on Aging, and there's a lot of different acronyms that we need to get used to.
It's like, can you people make up your mind and not
Exactly
and not try to coordinate everything?
Can we make it simpler? Yeah,
yes, please.
Absolutely.
Yes, please.
We're just trying to feed our seniors, and
Now, how do you guys work with the local state legislatures? As far as state representatives,
again,
senator?
Devin Carney, the state rep, was great through us through COVID. Supplying us with masks and those types of protective gear that we needed.
Yep.
And again, been a sounding board. If we have an issue that legislation needs to know about, he's been a great sounding board to sort of get that word out for us, as all the legislatures have.
Right.
But again, there needs to be a real concentrated effort, I think, at the state level for advocacy at the federal level about senior nutrition, just because the grant money that's out there, the help that's out there for these programs just isn't keeping up with inflation. As our inflation rises, consumer prices are rising. That touches all the elderly nutrition providers.
Oh, yeah.
As it does you and me when we go to the grocery store, we go to the gas station.
Right.
Yeah. So, we just constantly try to strive to get the word out to legislators that, when budget time comes around, take a look at senior nutrition.
Yeah.
Take a look at how many people are using the program,
Right.
and how valuable it is.
And I'm sure that your executive chef knows about food costs because he's got a.
Oh, absolutely. He's the one ordering the food, and he's looking at those invoices and when they come in, and I think last week just for with the corned beef, I mean it was outrageous. He cooked 200 pounds of corned beef.
Yeah,
it's crazy. But we make it work. We piece it together. We're donations come in through the public, wherever we can. Wherever we can scrape up some funds, we do, and we've been lucky so far.
Yeah. Now, as far as obviously, if people want to donate, can they do that online, or can they?
Absolutely. If you go to our website, you can donate right through our website.
Okay.
You could always call the Estuary. We'll tell you how to, if you want to send in a check, or you want to stop in and say hello, and for a tour. Certainly give you a tour, and we never turn down donations.
No. And you never turn down anybody wanting to say hello.
Absolutely not. It's that's why we're there.
Yeah.
For people to come in, see what we're all about.
Yeah.
Some people come in and they're hesitant at first, and they take a class, or they're sitting with someone they haven't seen in a long time at lunch, or they make a new friend, and when they're walking out the door, just with a smile on their face, saying, I'm really glad I came in here. I never realize this was here. And that's
I'm the same way. I know the
right?
building's there, but I've never walked in and looked around. I think I stopped by your office once.
Yes. And that was before we remodeled.
Yes, exactly.
Yep. So we got to get you in.
I was going to say, I think I'm due for a visit.
Absolutely.
I think I'm
going to hold you to that.
Oh, all right. All right. I'll tell you what. I'll take a look at I might come down for lunch one day.
Absolutely.
I can.
Yep.
We
take a look at our menu and see which ones. And our menu is also online, so if people want to go to our website, you can get our menu on the website as well.
Now, does the menu change monthly?
It does.
Okay.
Yep. Our menu is made by between our food service director and our nutrition director. They sort of collaborate on the menu.
Okay.
It goes to the state for approval. For content, so make sure it doesn't have too much salt and those kinds of things.
Okay.
So, you get a balanced meal, you're getting a nutritious meal.
Yeah.
So, we're not just throwing food together.
No. And it goes to the state?
Yep, goes to
Or-
a state. The state nutritionist has to approve it. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. We have a lot of guidelines running these types of programs. You know, we're not able. You know, some towns that don't run the Title III program
Yeah.
sort of have, you know, free range to do what they want.
Yeah.
You know, but we're sort of, we have to work in the parameters of the program. But again, it's all about healthy eating.
Yeah. And I'm sure now, have they ever shot down a menu that you've
No.
sent up?
No.
No?
You know,
Okay.
you know, sometimes it'll come back with, you know, you need a little bit more vitamin C, you know, so we add a oranges or
Yeah,
something.
throw an
to it.
orange on
Yeah,
it.
but nothing major.
No?
Yeah, always gets approved. And we do them 2 months in advance too, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not like you're sending them one a month up,
Correct.
1 month up, 1 month up.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of back pieces to the
Yep.
nutrition program that people don't realize. You know, they just see, well, the food shows up at my house, or
Right.
a driver shows up at my house, or, you know, there's food in the cafe at noontime, but there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes.
Well,
just
tell
for-
us about the behind the scenes. We got some time.
Yeah, you know, just the reimbursement piece. You know, people think we get 100% reimbursement, which we don't.
No.
We get reimbursed again by Title III funds from Senior Resources, and you know, it covers a portion of the meal cost.
Okay.
We get money from our clients. We ask for a suggested donation of $3, so there's
Okay.
no cost.
Right.
But whether you pay $3 or 3 cents, you're still entitled to that meal.
Okay.
There's no judgment. There's no income limits on it. We get donations as well, you know, private donations. So, and some of our fundraising goes to support Meals on Wheels. So at the end of the day, there's a certain portion of that meal price that we have to make up. That doesn't come through funding or doesn't come through a donation. So, you know, that's the part that people don't see is how we make that difference up to fund the rest of the cost of the meal.
Right. And I'm sure during the pandemic that changed as well.
Absolutely. You know, again, donations were down during pandemic. Our meal numbers shot up because people not coming into a congregate setting now are on the home delivered meal rosters, right? So they didn't want to leave their house. They were afraid at that point of leaving their house. And we still have people like that to this day that still aren't comfortable coming into a congregate setting. So our Meals on Wheels numbers they're through the roof. You know, we're adding people all the time. But the great thing is we have no wait list, and we'll continue to provide meals to whoever needs a meal.
Now, how early do the trucks leave in the morning?
So the first batch of food comes out around 8 o'clock in the morning out of our ovens. It's all packed by volunteers. It's packed and it's ready for the volunteer drivers to deliver those meals by around 10 o'clock.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
Impressive. When you're talking about 500 meals going out the door, you know, it's,
500 meals.
yeah. Yeah. It's, yeah.
Wow.
And when you come, I'll give you a tour of the kitchen, and you can see the. It's sort of like, you know, a well-oiled machine. How
Organized
it works.
chaos?
Absolutely, absolutely. But we never miss a day.
No?
Nope, we haven't missed a day in my 18 years, except for a snow day or a weather-related day. We've been there Monday through Friday delivering those meals.
Speaking of snow days, if the town is closed, you guys are closed?
No. So
No.
we used to do that. That
I
used
was
be
going
our-
to say, you
Yep.
used to do that.
Our policy was if the schools were closed, we were closed.
Right.
But what was happening is sometimes the schools would close because the kids are trying to get on the bus in the morning. So the morning is bad, but the afternoon clears up. So now it's nice and it's sunny and all the snow is melted in the afternoon.
Yeah.
People want a place to go, and the estuary is closed because we were following the school policy.
Right.
So now we sort of make that call on our own.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So if we see that through the weather forecast, if you know that it's going to be bad the next day, it's not safe for people to get out, you know, we'll make that call, and it'll be on you know, Channel 8, Channel 3, the radio. We try to get it out as much as possible. NBC.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Stan from the Estuary, thanks for some time. We'll see
Thank
you soon.
Absolutely. Remember,
got
I'm going to hold you to that.
Yes, you are. On behalf of Stan, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks, good night, and we'll see you next week.